Mets, and it's not meant as an insult, but when you have new stadiums like they have, you see the empty seats behind home plate because nobody can afford to sit there. And until it becomes the playoffs, and then it's a quiet playoff ground because you have a bunch of people that aren't true fans that are filling up the stadium. So It's fun to get the excitement of baseball back out here on Long Island, which is great.
True. And like you said, it's very affordable. So I hope to see a lot of people out at my games.
We'll make sure we push it.
Yeah, there we go. Now, I got a question for you. I know when you were a professional, we didn't have any labor strife during that time. You were fortunate in that. But give us your feel of what's going on right now with the owners and the players. Give us a feel of what the players are possibly thinking right now as they sit here waiting to go take the field for spring training, and they're not allowed. Yeah,
it's tough being a player because you want to play baseball, right? But you do know that there are some things that have to be done. That union is very, very strong, and they're not going to give in. It's tough because I understand the fans have a tough time understanding. You got billionaire owners, and then multi-millionaire players. Guys, just figure it out and get on the field and play and entertain us. But it's a business, and I remember being a young player, and whenever there was talks of a strike or something like that, I never really understood it. Like, why can't we just figure it out? But there are some real issues that have to get worked out, and I'm confident that it will get worked out. I really am. I mean, can I say that I think we're going to have a spring training on time? No. I mean, I don't think there's any way that can happen. But baseball is such a Major League Baseball is such a moneymaker, and it's huge for these families and everyone that loves the game. That you would think that Major League Baseball, the owners, they're going to work it out. And like I said, I know one thing for sure: the players, all they want to do is get on the field. So you got to understand that there are people that are running the union and people that are trying to do the right thing, and they're not, they don't realize that these guys just want to get on the field.
And I kind of understand where the players are coming from. I'm for the players. Darren's not. He's a loser.
I'm always owner first.
Yeah, he's owner first. But, it's pretty ridiculous that Corbin Burns, he won the Cy Young Award last year, and he made $600,000. How can you not give this guy a little something? I know I think the owners are agreeing on doing something like that, but the dollar figures are just ridiculous. I think they want to give like $10 million. So you're going to give 4 players more money and that's it? Yeah, I mean, the numbers are just really skewed, like unbelievably.
Yeah, they really are. And, it's some of it doesn't make sense. And, that's why I think, that it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of work everything out. But like I said, I think it will, when push comes to shove, everything will get worked out.
Just one specific question, because I know the service time always is a really big deal. And
let the guy who wants the owners to win. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Stop with that. I just want baseball. Stop it. What I want, though, is as a player, when you were coming up and the whole service time thing, and I know in the small market team as opposed to a big market team, it's a totally different game because, small market teams want to not bring you up early enough because they want to have you for that extra year. Is this something that you how far off do you think it is the way they do it now? Where do you think service time should be?
Well, you need to have 6 years of service time in order to be a free agent. That's what I always thought was good, but maybe it's different. Maybe it should be 3 or 4 years. But I was always used to, arbitration starts after 2.5 or so years, and 6 years until you're a free agent. And I thought that was pretty fair. But I understand we've got a lot of these good young players that are coming in.
Wander Franco gets a contract his first year, basically,
right,
because he's that special,
Exactly. So I personally don't have a problem with the way they're doing it now. I mean, what are your thoughts? You think it should be at a younger age
Well, I thought it should be slightly younger. And the only reason why is because I think that sometimes I always feel bad for the small market teams a little bit. I do feel like they're so afraid to bring somebody up in June or July, and they'd rather wait till next year and make him earn the spot because they don't want to use a year of service time. And you sit there and you look at the Royals and Pirates, so some teams that just don't have the payrolls.
No, Pirates
that some of the others do. And but it's always so much fun when those teams start making a run. Like the Padres a couple of years ago when there was the 18 playoff, I thought it was amazing. I mean, they lost to the Dodgers, but it was amazing watching Tatis and all these guys come up. And the Rays do it every single year. You never know how. You don't know what they're going to do, but every time you turn around, there's another 6'8" guy that throws 103 miles an hour coming out of the bullpen. They go 2 batters. And then there's another guy right behind him that's 6'7", does the same thing. And you're like, where do they find these guys? It's amazing to watch. And yet they're able to constantly just keep filling the funnel, which is just it's just great baseball. It's great management. It's just great. It's just a bad ballpark and a bad fan base, but everything else about it is amazing. It's what it should be. Billy Beane always got the credit for it, but the Rays are the team that actually did it, and I think that's really impressive to me.
It is.
Yeah. One of the things that's tough though, the fact that the guys have to wait until 6 years, and now the players are starting a lot younger, so that's not going to be as bad. So when they're 26, 27, they're going to head into the prime of their careers, and they're going to get paid the big bucks. But the older guys or guys who make it a little bit later, they want to get paid for what they did, but what they're going to do in the future is not going to be anything what they did in the past, only because of the years of service and how old they've gotten. So, it's tough. You want to take care of the young guys and make sure the guys get the money when they're earning that type of money, I mean, Wander Franco is still going to be earning that money when the time comes, when his contract's expiring. But guys like, Lindor, I don't want to even talk about Lindor, but that's the point.
They've had a lot of success with middle infielders coming from the American League.
Yeah, it's great. But the guys who only become free agents at 29 and 30, they want 7 and 8 year deals, but probably by the 5th year, they're going to start to wane off, and they're not going to be earning the type of money that they're asking for.
Yes, it's true. It's true. So it is very tricky because you don't want a guy that's 37 years old making $30 million and, he can't crack the lineup. So it is a tricky situation, but again, I think they'll work it out. Like I said before, a lot of these young guys that are coming up,
phenomenal.
It's unbelievable what we've seen here in the last few years.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree that they should, they should wind up getting paid. But listen, some of these teams are doing the right thing and locking these guys up long term, which is smart. I mean, I think it's really, really smart. And in 5, 6, 7 years from now, it's going to look like, holy smokes, this guy's only making this much, and he's, one of the best players in the game.
It's funny because the pitching is always a little bit behind the hitting. Not every single time, but a lot. You'll get a young star middle infielder or outfield that comes up at 20 and can really play. But generally, you find those left-handed pitchers that really just don't find their groove where they get everything going and they finally have a good year and then they're eligible to go. And you're like, I've been watching this guy for 5 yees and now he's leaving my team and he's going somewhere else. It's like one of those things. It's one of the things that makes baseball so great. For Bill and I mean, because we just love the inner workings of how the sport plays out.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, I can't say anything right.
Plus, we have no life. We live for us. Christmas Day is the day that we do the baseball draft. That's like the biggest day of the year for us.
That's a fun day.
So now, when you guys were playing, did you guys do fantasy baseball?
We did fantasy football.
You did football.
We did fantasy baseball back then. Yeah.
Were you not allowed to, or just?
I don't know if we were not allowed to, but I don't know, for some reason, I don't think it was as big as fantasy football.
Right.
And, it wasn't until I retired and my friends locally on Long Island asked me to get into a league with them for fantasy baseball that I did. And I was like, I've never played fantasy baseball. I don't know about it. Having to check the lineup every single day. It's different than football. Football's once a week. But I absolutely love fantasy baseball now.
As do we. It's our favorite thing. We do football and love it, but baseball is like, well, baseball was our first love, and kids our age were like, baseball was the first sport we played, and it was something that we all really got into. So it's the grueling part of the season, the long 162 games that makes it really exciting to us.
Plus, how do you explain to other people that you don't have yourself on your team?
Exactly, right?
You don't draft yourself, you're in trouble.
Right. You go up to the plate. Not only if you go 0 for 5, you hurt your average for the team, but now your fantasy team's like in 5th place because you sucked that night.
That's right.
Just a quick couple of baseball questions. Kat, who was your favorite guy to face? Who did you love going up to bat against?
So for me, I loved facing Mike Mussina.
Okay. You like facing the borderline Hall of Famer Moose. Okay.
Yeah. For some reason, I owned him. I mean, I must have had, I don't know, maybe 30 some odd hits against him. And he would, later in my career, he would come up to me if he'd see me out, on the field for batting practice. And he would just be like, what is it about me? Why do you get a hit against me every time up? And I was just like, I don't know. But every guy has like one of those guys that they, for some reason, always get a hit against. And for me, it was Mike Mussina.
Did he ever
throw the guy? Who was the guy that when you saw he was pitching said, "Oh crap, we're in trouble"?
So for me, that was Pedro Martinez.
I think a lot of people said that, Kat.
Yeah. He absolutely owned me. I mean, I might have had a couple of hits against him in like 30 at bats. It seemed like whenever I was looking for a changeup, he would throw a fastball, and if I was looking for a fastball, he'd throw a changeup. He knew exactly what I was looking for. He could kind of read my body language. Just an unbelievable pitcher.
Yeah, don't feel bad because he owned most people. So,
how did you do against Randy Johnson? Just that lefty to lefty. That must have been scary.
So I only faced Randy Johnson in spring training because during the season, they would stack the lineup with right-handed hitters.
Oh, I get it. It must have been scary, though. Oh,
out of the lineup. Yes, scary. So spring training, I faced him, and I was not happy about it. Yeah, I was like stepping out every time he would throw. Yeah.
And then the last one I'll have, and you might have another, Bill, but who is the best player you ever saw, best hitter naturally that you ever just watched and marveled and said, wow, this guy's, I just love the way this guy hits. I love his approach. I love everything.
The best hitter and best player that I ever played with on the same team was Alex Rodriguez. Just watching him, his work ethic was unbelievable. Like you just think that, it's Alex Rodriguez. He was born to be a baseball player and he probably didn't work hard. He could roll out of bed, but he would show up to the ballpark before everyone else and he'd get his work in, extra work. And then after the game, he was working like in the weight room lift. He was a hard worker and his ability was just second to none. That's the best player that I saw that I played with. As far as playing against and best hitter I ever saw that I played against, Barry Bonds. I watched pitchers just, if they would miss their spot just by that much, the ball would be out of the ballpark. I remember we had a meeting before the Giants came to town. We were in Texas. And I remember the manager said to the pitchers, listen, we're not going to let Barry beat us tonight. We're going to walk him every single time he gets up. And he said, it's not going to be an intentional walk. It's going to be an unintentional walk. And first at bat, ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, ball 4, not even close. He walked. Second at bat, same thing. Third at bat, same thing. Fourth at bat, it was ball 1, ball 2, ball 3. And the pitcher leaked it over the plate like just that much. Like he didn't. And you would think at that point, after he's seen how many 15 balls in a row, he knew we were going to walk him. He would get,
chill out and let the pitch go by.
Exactly. Right. but he was ready and he put the ball in the seats and they wound up winning the game. And it was just like, holy smokes.